Baldur's Gate 3 has just had another major update with patch 6. This one isn't as big as patch 5 as it mainly focuses on bug fixes and quality of life improvements, but it still has a decent amount of changes that may affect your current and future playthroughs. Here are some of the biggest changes that I found. Even though Larian trolled us by teasing and releasing this patch after Valentine's Day, Baldur's Gate 3 is still in the mood and gave us improved companion kissing scenes. If you're the type of player who simps for companions, this one's for you. Another relatively minor but neat change is that companions will now have better idle animations while at camp instead of standing there like a mindless zombie. Additionally, some enemies have also become fully fledged bosses with their own legendary actions in auto mode. Watch out for Joe Rogsland and the Drider in Act 1 and the Shambling Mound in Act 2. There are also tons of new quality of life improvements. When dialogue triggers automatically, the game will now prioritize the avatar, aka the character you made at character creation, as the main speaker. This will make dialogue more consistent as NPCs will try to talk with the avatar first. You'll no longer have scenarios where the NPCs will ignore your high charisma avatar to speak with your low charisma companions. Of course, this makes charisma based classes like Bard, Sorcerer, and Warlock stronger for the avatar and weaker for companions. You can now dismiss a recruited companion while speaking with the companion you want to replace him with. This makes it much easier to switch out companions and makes camp casting cheese much easier to do.
What's on your mind? Oh, nothing would give me greater pleasure. Which of our esteemed company am I stepping in for?
You can also change the difficulty mode mid-playthrough. The only exception is if you're playing in auto mode. You can switch between Explorer, Balanced, Tactician, and Custom mode. You can now view your entire party's inventory when trading so that you don't have to switch between multiple characters. Auto-selecting camp supplies for long resting will now use resources more optimally. You'll no longer have scenarios where you'll only need 80 camp supplies for long rest, but auto-selecting will use more. You can now change the size of text in books and other legible items. This will make it much easier if you're far from the monitor or if you're playing on a TV. There's also an increased number of valid methods of knocking Minthara out to recruit her. Previously, if you wanted to recruit her without raiding the Emerald Grove, you had to temporarily aggro her by stealing something in front of her and then knock her out. There are also some bug fixes in this patch, such as Shield Bash and Rebuke the Muddy finally being fixed and actually knocking enemies prone if they fail the dex save. Now, there is one huge nerf that I noticed that will heavily affect Storm Sorcerers. You can no longer use the Twin Meta Magic for Ice Knife, Witch Bolt, or Chain Lightning. This is a huge nerf to Storm Sorcerers who utilize the Wet Condition, as Twin Ice Knife and Witch Bolt were fairly strong early game, and Twin Chain Lightning was absurd late game. They'll still be strong, but they'll be less strong than they were. And those were the biggest changes I noticed in patch 6 of Baldur's Gate 3. If you notice any big changes that I didn't mention, please leave a comment down below. Thank you all for watching, and take care everybody.